Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasa Digaura Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Welcome, dear devotees, for our evening session on Bhagwatam. We're going to cover chapter 20th. We are almost in the end of chapter 20th, verse number 37 and 38 is what we plan to cover today. So just to take you through, since we don't have too many things to cover here, I thought we'll take the time to just walk us through what has happened so far. Right? So Maharaj Prithu essentially was performing this Ashwamedha Yajna to make that century, golden 100. And that was disturbed by Indra. And finally, Maharaj Prithu tried to chase away Indra, who came in as sannyasi and all that. And now, coming to chapter 20, the first 16 shlokas cover Lord Vishnu, how he instructs Prithu Maharaj. So he first asks Prithu Maharaj to forgive Indra. Basically, he says that people who are knowledgeable and they are detached and they don't have any malicious intent towards others, and they're not carried away by Maya. So that's the first thing he says. And the knowledge of soul and super soul basically makes one affected of the three modes of material nature. That's the second instruction he gives. Then he gives, he tells Maharaj Prithu, please serve me by occupational duties and you can attain peace and have a perfect vision. So also understand the soul's real position. That makes one eligible for liberation. Then as a king, please protect your praja, your citizens, and you'll derive resultant benefits. As we saw, whatever good happens as a result of a king's pious or good deeds, he earns the dividends of that, right? Just like the tax goes to the king, similarly, he earns the dividend of good deeds also. Then the next set of sections from Shloka 17 to 22, Lord has a very affectionate dealing with Prithu Maharaj. So basically, he says, when a devotee acts as per the wishes of the Lord is naturally pleased. Like, for example, at home also, if our children do something, without us asking, for example, bring us when you're coming in tired from work or from a program, they just bring you a glass of water without asking you that whether you need a glass of water, you just feel touched. Right? Similarly, Lord is also very affectionate with Prithu Maharaj because he's very obedient to the Lord's instructions. So he says, I'm pleased with you, ask any benediction. And Prithu Maharaj accepts the instructions. And then what happens is, when such beautiful exchanges happen between Lord and his devotee, the perpetrator, in this case, Indra, he also feels a bit ashamed. He feels, my God, what did I do? And Indra asks for forgiveness. He wants to touch the lotus feet of Prithu Maharaj. And then Prithu Maharaj immediately accepts his forgiveness. He basically then, because of Lord's mercy, Prithu Maharaj starts to worship the Lord, right? And these are the prayers of Prithu Maharaj, which are in section 23 to 31. So he says, and what kind of benediction is Prithu Maharaj asking? So is he asking for a fortune? Is he asking for, okay, I couldn't do 100 Ashwamedha Yajna. Make that count 100, right? Give me the benefits of that. Indra intervened and he couldn't make me do that. No, Prithu Maharaj is not asking anything like that. Prithu Maharaj is asking those benedictions which any sadhaka has to ask if he gets a chance to, or any pure devotee of the Lord, he needs to ask whenever Lord is giving that, ability to give benediction. Right? So he says benediction like liberation are worthless. essentially because there is no service to the Lord in that in that state. Then he asks for giving millions of years so that he can hear the glories of the Lord. He can hear the holy names of the Lord. Because he says only an animal, I think we discussed this section last time around, only an animal would like to give up hearing. So us being fortunate human beings who have come into Krishna consciousness and are steadfast in it, we are so fortunate that we don't want to give it up for the world. Right? And that's what Maharaj is asking. So he asks for serving the lotus feet of the Lord. And he says that Mother Lakshmi will be angry, but you should give me preference there. You'll take you take my side. He's asking. So, and then he also gives an example of other devotees. He says, all other devotees also serve you, so should I. And then he's saying that when one goes through the Vedic knowledge, which is huge, which is like tons and tons of literature, scripture, those allurements are bewildering. We don't know what to ask. If you read too much, also sometimes they say, if you read nothing and if you read too much, you can get confused in both the situation. Right. So kindly bestow what you think is right for me. So he's trusting Lord's judgment over his own interpretation of Vedas, which is always the right thing to do. So sometimes out of a pressing exigency or some trouble, we'll rush to the temple, we'll rush to our home deities and ask for something which we think by our intelligence is the right thing to solve for our problem. When the Lord is all intelligent, he's omnipotent, he's got so much of, he's got infinite knowledge, he's got infinite power, all the six attributes of a Bhagavan, we somehow trust that our intelligence in terms of solving our problems is better than Lord's intelligence in terms of solving our problems, right? So here, Maharaj is essentially taking the debate away. He's saying, I trust your intelligence, I trust your judgment. Please do the right thing for me, and which is absolutely the right prayer for all of us. And then the Lord leaves after offering his benediction. He offers all this. Please do bhakti yoga. That's the simplest thing which Lord blesses Prithu Maharaj with. And then Prithu Maharaj honors everyone and returns home. So this is the sections we have covered so far. So we will go to the last two shlokas. I'll shortly share my screen. Please let me know once you see it. Second. Laptop is a bit slow today for some reason. That's what's. Okay. Please let me know once you see my screen. Hare Krishna. Is my screen visible? I'm trying to share.
No,
sorry about that. It's somehow my laptop seems to be acting up a bit today. See if is it shared now?
Yeah. Zoom it is seen.
Yes. Sorry, I've got hundreds of tabs open. Maybe that's the reason. Sorry about that. Yes. Is it visible now?
Yeah. 4.20.37.
Yes. Sorry, Mataji. Oh God. Sorry. Somehow this laptop is really acting up. I think it really needs a restart.
Share the screen, Prabhuji, but mobile it will be small. So
yeah. Once again, I'll just enter forward.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. It's chapter 20. Sorry, we are in chapter 20, right?
Yeah, 4.20.28.
Yeah, last one. Sorry. I did keep this open. For some reason, it got closed. Now, is it visible? Just maximize this.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Bhagavan api rajarishe. So,
Bhagavan Virajarash.
I'll just complete this, Mataji, and then you can recite. If you want to recite together, also that's okay. Bhagavan api rajarishe. Sopadya yasya chachuta aran iva manomushya swadama pratyapadyata. Yes, Mataji, please go ahead. I can't see the order in which, let's see if I can see the order.
May I recite, Prabhuji?
Yes, please, Mataji, please go ahead and recite.
Bhagavan api rajarshe sopadhyayasya chachutah haran iva manomyusya swadama pratyapadyata. May I continue with translation and purport, Prabhuji?
Yes, Mataji, please.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai. The infallible Supreme Personality of Godhead, having captivated the minds of the king and priest who were present, returned to his abode in the spiritual sky. Purport. Because the Supreme Personality of Godhead is all spiritual, he can descend from the spiritual sky without changing his body. And thus, he is known as Achyuta or infallible. When a living entity falls down to the material world, however, he has to accept a material body, and therefore, in his material embodiment, he cannot be called Achyuta. Because he falls down from his real engagement in the service of the Lord, the living entity gets a material body to suffer or try to enjoy the miserable material conditions of life. Therefore, the fallen living entity is Achyuta, whereas the Lord is Achyuta. The Lord was attractive for everyone, not only the king, but also the priests or priestly order who were very much addicted to the performance of Vedic rituals. Because the Lord is all attractive, he is called Krishna, or one who attracts everyone. The Lord appeared in the sacrificial arena of Maharaja Prithu as Kshirotakashaya Vishnu, who is plenary expansion of Lord Krishna. He is second incarnation from Karnotakashaya Vishnu, who is plenary expansion of second incarnation from Karnodakashaya Vishnu, who is the origin of material creation and who expands as Garbhodakashaya Vishnu, who then enters into each and every universe. Kshirodakashaya Vishnu is one of the Purushas who control the material modes of nature. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji. Wonderful. So here, two distinctions are being made of Chuta and Achyuta. Right? Chuta is someone who's fallible. Lord is infallible. So when a living entity falls down, what happens is he gets a material body. Now, what's the problem in getting a material body? Anybody wants to elaborate? What are the problems of a material body? Anyone?
Prabhuji, he has to be in the Maya.
Birth,
Sorry?
death, three miseries,
Yes.
Prabhuji.
Yes. Which are those three miseries?
Birth, death, old age, disease.
Old age disease, correct. And so he gets a material body and he has to suffer the miserable material conditions of the life. And the fallen living entity is Chuta, whereas Lord is Achyuta. The Lord was attractive for everyone, not only the king, but also the priestly order, who were very much addicted to the performance of Vedic rituals. Okay, and Krishna is all attractive. That's mentioned here. Now, couple of things to mention here. The expansion that was seen right in front of Prithu Maharaj in the fire sacrifice was the Shirodakshai form of the Lord, right? So there, I just wanted to bring up this nice write-up, which basically just to rejig our memory and have a pictorial view also. So the three of them, Mahavishnu or Karnodakshai Vishnu, Garbhodakshai Vishnu, Shirodakshai Vishnu, these are all Purusha avatars of of Shri Krishna, right? So here we see that Mahavishnu in this photo, just to give it a pictorial representation. So as he's meditating, as he's kind of closed his eyes, what happens is essentially there are millions and millions of universes which are coming through his pores, right? The tiny holes, basically the pores of Lord Mahavishnu, innumerable universes emanate. As he breathes out, innumerable universes are produced, and as he inhales, they are annihilated. So imagine one Mahavishnu's breath is so powerful. And then what happens is within every universe, you have basically Brahma, right? And Brahma's age span, just to put a figure around it, it's probably something around 311 trillion, close to 120 billion odd years, right? Imagine that. And now you put that timeline perspective, it doesn't apply at Mahavishnu's level, right? It just does not apply because so many, in his one breath, so many millions and trillions of years are getting over. So that's the calculation we have. And then all of the energies of Mahavishnu are spiritual and they have nothing to do with the material energy. So the concept of time becomes ineffective or not relevant at all. The second Vishnu incarnation is the Garbhodakshai Vishnu, enters each and every universe, spreads water from his body and lies down on that water. From his navel, the stem of a lotus flower grows. On that, the first creature, Brahma, is born. Right? So Brahma is also called Aja, the one who's not born through a union of father and mother, who directly comes through the navel of Lord Vishnu. Right? Within that stem are 14 divisions of planetary systems. Anybody remembers what are those 14 planetary systems? Anyone?
The topmost that you're asking for, is
There are seven.
14 planets.
Yeah, 14 planetary systems.
Attala, Pittala, something like that.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, Madhuri. Yes. Please go on.
Satyaloka, Tapaloka,
Okay.
Janaloka, Maharloka, Swarloka, Bhuvarloka, Bhurloka, Attalaloka. Yes, Archana Mataji, you can say.
Yes,
No,
Madhuri.
Mataji, I don't know. I've seen in some slide, but I don't remember that order and all. Yeah, some Attala, Pittala, Padala, and all comes. Yes.
Sutala,
Actually,
Talatala, Mahatala, Rasatala, Patala. 14 are there.
right. Basically, in as part of Trikal Sandhya Vandanam, there is one shloka. Om Bhuhu, Om Bhuvaha, Om Suvaha, Om Mahaha, Om Janaha, Om Tapaha, Om Satyam. Right? So that's how I remember it. So after that, the Gayatri shloka comes. That's how Turvarinam, etc. So I try to remember it that way. So the essentially Bhuva Swarloka, right? And Swarloka is also called Swargaloka, which in another word. And then Satyaloka is there. And in the lower planetary system, Atala, Vitala, Sutala, Rasatala, Talatala, Mahatala, Patala, right? They are all in the lower forms, right? So based on our karmas, we may move up the planetary systems or down the planetary systems, right? And right. Brahma is born within the stem of that lotus flower, 14 divisions we just talked about. Within each universe, the Lord is present as the Garbhodakshai Vishnu, and he maintains each universe and tends to its needs. Although he is within each universe, the influence of material energy cannot touch him. Whenever it is required, this very same Vishnu takes the form of Lord Shiva and annihilates the cosmic creation. The three secondary incarnations, Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva, are the predominating deities of the three modes of material nature. The master of the universe, however, is the Garbhodakshai Vishnu, who is worshipped. And here, there is also somewhere I saw a mention of Shirodakshai. Yeah, the third incarnation of Vishnu, Shirodakshai Vishnu, is also an incarnation on the mode of goodness. He is also the super soul of all living entities, and he resides on the ocean milk within the universe. So Shira means milk, right? He lies on the milk ocean, and he's the super soul of the entire universe. So if one way to look at this Purusha avatars is to feel the omnipresence of the Lord, right? How he spreads, how he pervades into the entire cosmic space, uh, how he's pervaded completely in the spiritual and in the material world. So this this kind of a hierarchy tells us that by this method, Lord becomes omnipresent actually. So there is one more interesting bit I wanted to share here. So this somehow my laptop seems to be really acting up. Sorry. Yeah. So if you look at this chart, I'm not sure if it is visible. So this chart essentially talks about the the hierarchy starting from Krishna, when it kind of loads up. Then you have Vasudev and Spa, Sankarshan, Pradyumna, Aniruddha. And then from Sankarshana expands to Narayana, then Vasudeva, Sankarshana, Pradyumna, Aniruddha, then Mahavishnu, which is what we saw in the diagram, Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, and then Shirodakshaya Vishnu, which is the Paramatma. So it's this Shirodakshaya Vishnu who came up in the fire sacrifice to make amends, to grant wishes, benedictions, make amends in the sense to make sure that Ritu Maharaj is pacified. Yeah, then Indra is able to beg forgiveness. See, one interesting realization from this shloka itself is that Paramatma knows everything that's happening, right? So he knows Prithu Maharaj's heart, and he immediately manifests externally also, since he's the entire super soul of the universe. He brings out his personal form and basically comes and instructs Prithu Maharaj. Right? That's very beautiful actually, because he's within and without. He's a Paramatma within, and he's also Paramatma of the universe. So he's able to understand what's happening and basically act accordingly. We'll go to the next one. Any questions so far? Adrishtaya namaskritya nripa sandarshitatmane avyaktāya cha devanam devāya svapuram yayau. Anybody wants to recite the shloka again?
Yes, Prabhuji. May I
Yes,
recite?
please go ahead.
Very pronounce. Adrishtaya namaskritya nripah sandarshitatmane avyaktaya cha devanam devaya swapuram yayau. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki jai. King Prithu then offered his respectful obeisances unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the Supreme Lord of all the demigods. Although not an object of material vision, the Lord revealed himself to the sight of Maharaja Prithu. After offering obeisances to the Lord, the king returned to his home. Purport: the Supreme Lord is not visible to material eyes, but when the material senses are inclined to the transcendental loving service of the Lord and are thus purified, the Lord reveals himself to the vision of the devotee. Avyakta means unmanifested. Although the material world is the creation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he is unmanifested to the material eyes. Maharaja Prithu, however, developed spiritual eyes by his pure devotional service. Here, therefore, the Lord is described as Sandarshitatma, for he reveals himself to the vision of the devotee, although he is not visible to the ordinary eyes. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purports of the 4th canto, 20th chapter of the Srimad Bhagwatam, entitled Lord Vishnu's Appearance in the Sacrificial Arena of Maharaja Prithu.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you so much, Mataji. So here, that makes understanding Lord quite a task in terms of his potencies. Now, Lord cannot be seen by material eyes, but it seems seemingly here that Prithu Maharaj, with his material eyes, is able to see the Lord. right? And that's where Prabhupada mentions that due to his devotional service, Prithu Maharaj had a transcendental vision, right? And there are two things to call out here, which is very interesting. In the previous shloka, there was a word used, Achyuta. And in this shloka, and Achyuta means infallible. And in this shloka, there is a word called Avyakta, which means unmanifested. There it was infallible, here it is unmanifested. So how infallible, how an unmanifested person is manifested to Prithu Maharaj, who has a material body, right? And who's just in the fire sacrifice. So Prithu Maharaj developed spiritual eyes by his pure devotional service. Now, there was one very interesting quote mentioned by Srila Prabhupada and some of the senior acharyas, that don't try to endeavor to see the Lord by your vision. Do an endeavor in which the Lord is keen to see you by His own mercy, right? So I really like that line, because many times we are kind of we think that if Lord was visible to me at this moment, how would the world look like, or how would it be actually? Everybody wants to see that here. Think about that experience. But rather than doing that, serve Lord very nicely. How do you serve the Lord? By chanting His holy names, by serving His devotees, by essentially doing devotional service using all the 9 limbs, right? And using our senses. So essentially, when we do all this, Lord should feel that there is this sincere devotee of mine who's selflessly serving me without expecting anything from me, right? Let me see what is he doing, right? So that kind of mercy, that um, kind of endeavor that we need to make, rather than trying to see the Lord by force, rather. So it's basically Lord. Most of the things that we deal with Krishna consciousness initially is invitation only, right? It's essentially Lord's mercy has to flow, and then once we grab that mercy, we don't use an kind of, it's a rain where we don't want to, it's a mercy rain where we don't necessarily want to carry an umbrella, right, and insulate ourselves. We want to be drenched in that mercy rain. So once we do that, Lord automatically takes the next step. Once he sees the intent, the strong intent coming from us, he arranges for the next course of action. He will arrange for a congregation. He'll arrange for a devotee association. He'll also send us, if the endeavor is strong and serious, he'll send us a spiritual master with whom we can connect, and we can resolve our queries. We can actually take help, from the devotees, from some of the, and we can reveal our heart also to some of the devotees who are senior or etc. So basically we can it's the Rupa Goswami in Nectar of Instruction says, right, Dadati Pratigunati Guhyam Akhyati Pritchati. Right? So is being able to reveal one's heart, accepting gifts, taking prasadam, serving prasadam at our home, going to responding to invitations where such prasadam is being offered, all those bits. So once we do all those bits, kind of do materially what is necessary, like not over endeavoring at work, maybe doing what is necessary, not kind of not being sloppy at work, not being sloppy in any of our material deeds, doing the right thing there, but not over endeavoring, so that we can make time for Krishna consciousness. And doing all those bits, Lord automatically feels, okay, he's serious. Let me see. And see, with Krishna, the tricky part is that he always puts devotees through some test. There's always a litmus test that we have to give. And Lord checks our sincerity, our seriousness by those tests. And once he pass through flying colors, he's more than happy. He's kind of holding his hands out. He's opening his arms and willing to embrace us. So that's how it is. Right? So not much to cover today. I know we have some time. What I wanted to do was use this time essentially to walk through all the participants of this group to ask a couple of questions here. So far in Canto 4 or any earlier cantos, what message of Bhagavatam did they like? What is it that struck you the most? And are you taking any steps to, first of all, reflect on it? And if possible, personally implement it, thinking of personally implementing it, or essentially making plans to at least implement it, even if you're not implemented it today. So what I want to do is go participant by participant, devotee by devotee, and
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
don't feel that you're getting pushed to a corner. It's just a safe group. Please feel free to discuss. Who wants to go first here?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes,
Prabhuji, I want one small question here.
yes, Prabhu. Yes, go ahead.
Prabhuji,
Hmm.
here,
Hmm.
Supreme Lord is Avyakta,
Hmm.
means he is unmanifested form. He is
Hmm.
not no form, formless.
Hmm.
In
No,
so many purports, and then in Srila Prabhupada lectures, we used to hear that Sri Krishna is a form.
yes.
As a human being, we were serving him. We were like that. So many explanations were there.
Hmm.
Is it the contradiction is not there in this statement? In
Oh, no. Okay.
Avyakta means one, he is not one. Andre means we can't able to say in our material eyes, but that is in unmanifested form. But it has no means it has no form at all.
Okay, Prabhu. Thank you. So in this particular case, if you go up, Prabhu, you can see in Abhyaktaya, who's beyond the manifestation of the material world. It says that Lord is always manifested. When we say unmanifested, it is in the context of material world, right? In a
Okay.
material world, we don't have the eyes to see him. We don't have the material eyes cannot
Visualize
cannot
him.
hmm,
Visualize. Not
visualize him.
possible to visualize.
It's not possible to visualize him through our material eyes. That's
Okay.
the aspect of unmanifestation which is talked about, right?
Okay.
So
Okay.
with Lord's mercy, if once we get a spiritual vision, right, which interestingly Sanjaya, right, he got that
Okay.
spiritual vision. You remember, right? He could see the battleground sitting in the kingdom alongside the Rashtra Maharaj, the Rashtra. So he got the spiritual vision. And even in the battlefield, when the Lord expanded and showed his universal form, not that everybody could see it, right? Only few people, few chosen people, like for example, Bhishma Pitama and few others could see, not everyone. Right? So Lord becomes manifest, the unmanifest becomes manifest when the devotee is sincere and empowered by the mercy of the Lord, who gives him the spiritual vision. So that's the aspect. Hope it is clear, Prabhu.
Okay, Prabhu. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Okay, Prabhu. Any other questions before we go around the table? Okay, I think someone want to, Archana Mataji, you want to share first? Just feel free. There's no, you just can feel, it's a safe group. So that way, anything there. So the question here is, among all the 4 cantos, the message that you liked, and if you would like to apply it in your daily lives. Yes, go ahead.
Prabhuji, the thing is, I will first tell you how I came into this Bhagavatam class. Generally, this 18 days class, I joined with ISKCON Mangalore, and I was doing that Bhagavad Gita class and all that. But Bhagavatam, I never attend. Then I joined this ICF forum, Bhagavatam class. And at that time, I was actually after a loss in my, I had a personal loss. And that time only I joined this Bhagavatam class through my friend Giridhar Gopal Prabhuji. He gave me this link and I joined here. Then after that, the first story I listened to was Diti's vow to kill Indra. And that story was really heart touching. I attended all the classes without missing that story. And that was
Vritrasura,
really
was it?
superb story, Prabhuji, that she
The
was actually a negative
Vritrasura,
person.
okay, Vritrasura and Indra.
No. Diti had
Oh,
Hiranyakashipu
yes,
and
yes.
Hiranyaksha
Okay,
as their
got it,
sons, as her
got it,
sons, and they were
got it.
killed by Lord Vishnu because Indra gave Vishnu about the information of these people and all that. So she was angry and she wanted to kill Indra. That was the actually introduction of the story. And finally, she was totally a negative person. After her devotional service, continuous devotional service, she totally changed into a positive person. And she treated Indra also as her own son. She calls Indra, she addressed Indra as son. That
Very
was the change of mind that bought that devotional service had bought her in that life. That story was really nice, Prabhuji, and I will tell you, after which I started listening to so many Bhagavatam lectures. I started getting interest in Bhagavatam class. It is only because of this 8 p.m. class. Then, because this time is free for me, I am free after finishing all my work. Maybe because of that, I was very much peaceful listening to the entire story. And I also narrated this story to many people. It was very nice story, Prabhuji. And after this, I started listening to King Vena's story, Prithu Maharaj story, so many stories. And morning also, I started attending very nice Bhagavatam stories. It is really changing our heart. After this, we get a spirit of increasing the sadhana towards that 16 rounds chanting itself. We were simply just to finish that 16 round fast we were doing, but then we understood how much important it is to concentrate and chant. That one, how much important that sincerity in at least concentrating while chanting will lead us to Krishna's love and all that. And we also learned we will not get whatever we desire, but we will get what we are destined. That we learned. And we then one more message we learned is whenever we are over ambitious or greedy, we always learn lust, anger, greed lead to hell. They are the gateways to hell and all that we are learning everywhere, but we don't apply that practically in our life. But in this Bhagavatam class only we understand more that when we are greedy, we are trying to attain to higher position, but wherever we are reaching to higher position, we will not be happy then also. And there was some verse which was telling, even when a person is going to Ambani's position, even that person will have problems, because this is material world. It is dukkalayam asashvatam. That one, that was that all that I got from this Bhagavatam class only, Prabhuji, and it's very nice. This actually, if we don't have this class in a day, that day is actually incomplete. That is what I feel, Prabhuji. It's very nice.
Fantastic, Mataji.
And
Very
I
glad to
thank
hear.
Srila Prabhupada for giving us
Yes.
these books. Through these books, he's still living with us, and we are very
Yes.
much grateful to read all this. And special thank you to Ashish Prabhuji also for giving all these classes. And thank you to you all speakers also, Prabhuji, for spending your time for this. Thank you
we
so
are
much.
just instruments in the service, and we are doing it for our own purification also, Mataji. But your point is so spot on, right? That story is so moving. You got moved by one story, and your love for Bhagavatam increased, and that's see, it's Lord's personal form which has taken shape as Bhagavatam, right? And your love for Bhagavatam has grown. Your realizations are growing. And you're so spot on that people, even at the stage of Ambani's, with so much of wealth at their disposal, necessarily are not happy. Right? They're not away from birth, death, old age, disease. Right? They're not away. Nobody's away from it. So very nice. Thank you so much, Mataji, for sharing these realizations. Ambika Mataji, will you be comfortable going next? I'm just going in the order of who I see in the list.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Yeah, so it's just not one story in the Bhagavatam, probably, but there's so many which are so touching. I mean, personally, my favorite is Gajendra Moksha, Kunti Maharani's prayers. I mean, the list is so long. I cannot just say that, one is that's touched my heart. But yes, mostly it's Kunti Maharani's, the prayers. And I would like to, in fact, learn also at this age, I mean, it's not very easy to learn. I learn and then I forget and then I relearn. So, but then incorporate that, because we go through tough times in our life and we kind of blame situations, blame people, we blame our own destiny. But I mean, through these prayers, I realize I'm like, it's not just about our destiny, but we need to be thankful to God because it is so, yeah.
Wonderful, Masti. Very nice.
Important
Anything that you felt,
Yes.
anything that you felt, Mataji, which you would like to apply in your personal life, something that you felt very motivated at, yes, this is something I would like to do.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I said, Prabhuji. I was going through a very tough time
Okay.
in my life
Yeah.
about 2 years ago. I went through a very
Got it.
bad phase. And
Got it.
it is only through these scriptures and, listening to these stories, you kind of realize, I mean, the realizations come that, they have come for a purpose to,
Yes.
uplift us, and that
Yes.
we get over and above these things. These things will continue in life, but the idea is not to get stuck onto these problems,
Yes.
to rise above them.
Yes. Yes. Thank you so much, Mataji, for sharing your realization. One thing, just want to make a point here. Yeah, even I suffer from this fact that, even if I've read something, the whole information gets formatted in my head, right? I need to read again and reread it again, right? Maybe Lord's purpose is that way you will read again and again, right? If everything is committed to memory upfront, then, the aspect of revisiting may not happen. So Lord says, okay, I'll cleanse your memory so that I'll give you the forgetfulness so that you can read
Right.
again. Okay.
Right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Thank you
Prabhu.
so much for sharing this. Krishnamurti Prabhu, you want to share something?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, pranams Prabhuji.
Yes, yes, Prabhu. Please go
Prabhuji, I
ahead.
am grateful to, first of all, I am grateful to all the speakers. As because after joining this Bhagavatam classes, really my journey starts right from maybe in the year 2020, is Corona pandemic time. I have first joined to studygita.com in Madras, Chennai. They have focused me to join this Krishna Conscious Forum. First, I will say very well thanks to them. Yeah, I have heard that Bhagavad Gita classes, and then Brindavana Yatra, and then Nectar of Instruction. So many classes they have conducted. I have attended all the classes. After this, joining to the ICF, I came to know the Bhagavatam. I have read Bhagavatam in Kannada version. But when compared to that, this version it is totally different. So we can able to know Bhagavatam is not an ordinary scripture. It is a life lesson. Because every moment, every page, if we see, we can able to apply in our personal life. Everything is practical. If we have, though, so by hearing all these classes and things, our style of living itself is changed. Our
Interesting point.
thoughts know how to behave. And
Mm.
unnecessary, useless thoughts never arise from us. Everything was vanished. If anything talks in this nectar instruction, it says that you must not be associated with the non-devotees. It says like that. So if anything, any man calls to me in over phone, you believe it or not, I really, personally, to be frank with you, I am not ready to receive the calls itself. It is of useless thoughts, useless things. Why should I waste my time unnecessarily talking with them? So I am
Yes.
thinking, though the conscious rises like that, Prabhuji,
Wonderful.
not by egoism, but
Correct.
just if we speak, and then problem is after speaking and all those things, we have to recall again and again the same thing. That is a useless job. And
Absolutely.
then it will affect our personal growth. If we keep sit for chanting, that talks or conversation will come before me.
Correct.
So it is an easy not so easy thing to kick out from the thoughts. So we have to convince that thought, you please be away from me. After finishing my rounds, then I will talk to you. So that will affect. So that's why I heard in the classes also, if you want to chant 16 rounds early in the morning, previous day our actions must be in the previous day's actions must be in connection with on the basis of that previous day's actions, next day chantings will become perfect.
Thank you,
If
sir.
not, definitely these unnecessary things will recall us.
Yes.
That's why, you believe it or not, I am not glorifying. Nowadays, I have no desires at all.
Yes.
No, nothing desire is coming before me. No, anything is essential for me. Only thing is just taking from food, and most essentially, and clothing. That is the major requirements for me. Clothing and food. Other than that, no, nothing. Even though I am 70 now, after retirement, I am working. I am used to go to auditing work. On that day, it is not possible for me to chant additional rounds. Otherwise, definitely I will chant 30 to 40 rounds regularly. I chant.
Oh, very bold. Very nice,
And
Prabhu.
and then, you believe it or not, and then I am attending all the classes.
Fantastic.
Morning, this one prayer class, 16 rounds chant, I will attend. 9:30 class, I will attend. 11 class and 12 o'clock, and then 2 o'clock. Evening 6 to 7 is a Kannada class. 8 to 9 is a Bhagwatam class.
Wonderful. Wonderful,
And
Prabhu.
then, if before going to my bed, I chant another 2 or 4 rounds. It will make me to rise early in the morning exactly by 4. Without alarming is not necessary for me now. Automatically it wakes up. 4 o'clock, take bathing, to sit for chanting.
Wonderful, Prabhu.
So the thing is, I am blessed, Prabhuji, with the Supreme Lord has blessed me to be contact and with have a association with the Supreme Lord always. Through you preachers, you are all the masters, and you are making me a instrument. I am
Prabhuji, that's
grateful
your
to you, Prabhuji and
honor.
Mataji's, especially in morning session. And this when Mataji told me, I asked a question from her. She told me, how old you, Prabhuji? I told her, I am around 70, Mataji. I think you might have finished all your responsibilities. Yes, I told her, yes, I have finished I have no responsibilities at all. Then nothing to do.
Right.
Year afterwards, you must be in the Krishna conscious only.
Right.
You must not deviate anything else.
Yes.
You must take vow and then you must follow it. She told me. So I taken vow, and
Wonderful,
from
Prabhu.
that day, even from previous days, I am always doing my duty, and I used to pray. Mataji, she has guided me. I am grateful to her.
Wonderful, Prabhu. Thank you so much,
Sam,
Prabhu.
thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. You are all
Again,
great
carrying on
souls.
this.
You are making us an instrument. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
No, Prabhu. So we owe it to Srila Prabhupada for making us the instruments in this movement. Yes, I wanted to give opportunity to, okay, now Kishori Mataji is just left, I think. Sindhu Mataji, you want to share something? You have just a couple of minutes. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, pranams, Prabhuji.
Yes, Dhanavad Mataji.
Yeah, like everyone have spoken so beautifully. Like only from Canto 4, I think I've started listening little seriously, I think. Before and all, I was like on and off types.
Right.
But this Kutti Maharaj pastime was really interesting, and I started, writing notes and everything. So, yeah, like I've just heard that, first of all, before and all, I used to feel very scared. Bhagavatam means it's very tough, some big literature like that, I used to think. And then as and we read only, I feel that, the pastimes are very simple and, very practical, which you can apply, day to day life. And how the topics about Krishna and all is so interesting and all that. And I think this canto is very, very interesting. Fourth canto. Yeah, so very extraordinary examples we have seen about devotion, everything. And
Wonderful.
looking forward to listening more classes like this. And recently, what I have taken notes is about, this very interesting Lord Prithu Maharaj only. Like how, he was like, he used to tell that, my dear Lord, I do not want any benediction. He just wanted to have, keep hearing the glories of the Lord.
Yes, yes.
You know, yeah. So that purport was very interesting to read. And also he says, you are the best of the demigods who can offer benedictions. So, but I do not wish to have any benedictions, like he says in one of the things,
Wonderful, Mataji. Yes, wonderful. Great realizations, Mataji. Thank you so much for sharing them. And
Yes, thank you so much
with
for giving the opportunity.
yes, with this, we end chapter 20th of Canto 4. So the other speaker will take over the next couple of chapters. Thank you so much for your patient hearing.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhu.
Prabhuji, one small request.
Yes.
We have exchanged our views. Is there any things we have to change in our life? Please suggest us. To implement in our regular life. So we were ready. So mentally, yes, because we are mentally prepared to do, to hear, and to act in that way. So we need. If you say anything else, definitely we will take that. We will implement that.
You're doing a lot anyway, Prabhu. I see that you go to temple, you're serving there. On your own accord, you're also connecting via WhatsApp, right? At some point, Prabhu, you may want to consider preaching also. I'm sure you're doing it in your own way. But ISKCON, Srila Prabhupada's mission is a preaching mission, right? So, and I know you are very knowledgeable. I think it's just a matter of you starting to share it in the local language, right? If that's possible, if you can get a Ishtagoshti where you can speak in Kannada language, touch the hearts of people in that language, because there is no replacement for mother tongue, right? How much soever we may speak in English, it never touches the heart, right? The words are not so piercing as one would be able to do it in a local language. So if that's something you want to try, you want to do something like that, that'd be great. Spreading Prabhupada's movement further. But please do take advice from your counselor or any local authority that you may have, whether this is something you would like to do, and we can go with that. Thank you so much, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Gurudev ki jai. Thank you so much for your patient hearing. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.